Welcome to GCU's Canyon Center for Character Education. In today's video, we will be talking about character education in action. Today, we'll provide an overview of what implementing character education may look like and include. Think of this as your starting point as you consider how to design character education in your organization. Before we dive into how you can start providing character education, let's recall some examples of what character education is. Character education is a comprehensive, school-based approach that includes an intentional focus on promoting character, virtue formation, and ethical decision-making through school curriculum, ethos, activities, and engagement with family and community. Educators lead, teach, serve, and learn with character to promote individual and collective flourishing. Character education aims to develop and strengthen virtues and moral decision-making because practical wisdom in self and others cultivates a society where all can live well in a world worth living in. Every organization must determine their mission and vision pertaining to character education, including which virtues they value and how they'll define them with stakeholder input. One cannot embark on virtue formation without first identifying the shared virtues they value as a community and developing a shared definition of each. In the Jubilee Center for Character and Virtues framework shown here, character education is not just about skills and behaviors, but about a moral grounding in decision-making and using practical wisdom. Too much or too little of any virtue can be harmful. For example, a character education program without a moral compass might focus on teaching resilience, but resiliency can be used in excess, such as in criminals who continue to commit crimes. Instead, individuals must find the golden mean of our virtues and use that to guide in making the right choice in an ethical situation. Character education is not meant to be a means to an end. The purpose is not to help others develop virtues, only to fix their mindsets or behaviors, to increase their academic potential or push an agenda. Surely, being a person of character may impact these, but this is not the sole purpose. The goal of character education is to help individuals and society flourish. In action, character education includes all explicit and implicit educational activities that help people develop virtues in others. It's more than just a subject. Character education has a place in the culture and functions of families, classrooms, schools, and other institutions. It's about helping students grasp what's ethically important and teaching them how to act for the right reasons so they become more autonomous and reflective in the practice of virtue. As described from the JCCV framework, character is caught through implicit modeling, taught explicitly and hopefully sought. When considering how to develop your approach to character education, plan for how it will be caught, taught, and sought. Caught character is what students learn from what they see, hear, and experience from others. Their environment should promote good sense and positive virtues, the ethos of the community, relationship building in school, and positive interactions with others. Teaching character is also explicit. Consider the curriculum you want to incorporate, the way character will be taught and learned, and what resources you will use. Consider integration across the curriculum and subject areas. Develop character in students and provide opportunities for them to demonstrate character, develop character in others, and enhance their character through enrichment, social action, volunteering, and service learning. Explicit teaching might include focusing on character virtues and decision-making, and taking the time to teach both across subject areas. Modeling includes exhibiting positive virtue dispositions, demonstrating moral decision-making that considers all stakeholders and the betterment of society, and developing a school ethos that embodies the same. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to character education. Rather, each organization should determine the needs, approach, and content that will enhance virtue formation and moral decision-making that encompasses the needs and culture of their stakeholders and community. Begin with personal reflection, learning, and growth. We cannot impart character on others until we understand and enhance our own. This process can include school leaders, educators, and stakeholders. Next, determine the path for the school as a community. This is certainly easier said than done and will require time, consideration, input, and effort. There are many parts to plan, resources to gather, trainings to develop, and more. Create action plans for integrating character across subject areas and curriculum, making classroom connections, training staff, and serving students. Individual learning about one's character includes gaining awareness, developing virtue, and enhancing practical wisdom. A possible process for individual learning might include reflecting on biases, virtue strengths and weaknesses, virtue reasoning, and virtue definitions. Consider taking the VIA survey. Developing a professional growth plan for enhancing individual character. Considering a practical wisdom journal for noting virtue reasoning and motivations and reflecting on areas for opportunity. Developing a plan for how to apply discernment and ethical decision-making and ensuring you are advocating for diversity and inclusion. This might also be a process you engage in with staff, sharing insights to learn from one another. As a leader, developing a plan for implementing character education, it's important to consider aspects that will impact all stakeholders, including how to make character education equitable for all. Not all staff, students, and stakeholders receive character education the same way as cultures, perspectives, and experiences differ. Ensure all stakeholders have an input and a shared vision. A potential starting point for leading a school with character might include the following: gathering stakeholders, determining a shared vision that cultivates human and societal flourishing with virtue formation, determining valued virtues and defining virtues as a group, intellectual, moral, civic, and performance, developing a mission, vision, and framework specific to organizational contexts, developing an action plan for staff training, and developing a school ethos for COT character, as well as a plan for making classroom connections through content, materials, activities, and more for taught and sought character. Once school ethos, direction, and support needed to implement that culture is determined with teacher training underway, a shared vision for virtue formation and classroom connections can occur. As your organization plans for character education to be taught, you might begin by reviewing all resources available for character education, selecting the options that fit your organizational needs and determine school ethos direction, coming together as a community to participate in shared planning for content across the curriculum and subject areas, integrating opportunities for ethical decision-making and planning for how that will be taught, integrating content across curriculum and subject areas, developing a plan for continued development through assessment, training, and instructional practices, considering adding opportunities for service learning and citizenship education integration. Overall, it's imperative to remember that leading and teaching with character includes modeling positive virtues, modeling practical wisdom and moral decision-making, modeling the balancing of virtues, teaching through discussions and developing shared understanding of virtues, virtue reasoning, and moral decisions. Teaching the balancing of virtues to make good decisions for the betterment of society or teaching practical wisdom. Teaching using literature and assignments to explicitly teach and discuss virtuous actions and moral decisions. In all, character education is nurturing the flourishing of human goodness. You may feel like this is just another thing to add to your already full plate, but character is not an extra. Character is the plate. Character education is not a project to work on or something we do in isolation. It guides us in our everyday lives and is what we demonstrate in our beliefs, behaviors, and being. It's about knowing, feeling, and doing what's ethically important. The big picture to remember is that character education is about enhancing virtues and moral decision-making to lead to human flourishing. You already have character, so be intentional about how you model and teach it so that others can catch it, learn it, and then impart their character on others too. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next training.